I'm out in the water, come jump right in, 'cause we going farther than we ever been. I'm out in the water, come jump right in, we going farther than we ever been.
Ding.
Why are there two glitches in my eyes?
Don't let Eddie get too
Why is
close.
that the first thing that you said in the podcast?
This might be the most
thing I said
relaxed I've been on the podcast right here. Step your eyes. I can see Calvin straight at the mirror.
I can see myself stare at the mirror.
All right.
That's straight to the camera.
Ocean
You're
Waves, episode 37.
welcome. It's not 37.
Yes, it is.
No,
I
it's
thought it
not.
was
It's 38.
36.
It's 37.
It's 30. When you put it in the playlist,
I don't know.
what is that final total number of the playlist gonna go to?
37 plus 1 cause it's 0000 episode.
Number 0.
Which is actually a very crucial episode. Album interviews of Here I Am and Endless Destination.
Go check it
Some
out.
great content
All
in there.
platforms,
yours drops,
minus
you're-
everything.
When
Only
yours
YouTube.
drops,
Only YouTube.
you're running that back, right?
YouTube
Huh?
exclusive. That's what
When
you
yours
gotta
drops,
say.
you're running that
YouTube
back,
exclusive.
right?
Well, we didn't do one for Jason.
That's my point. But we waited for yours to do it. Well, at least
No.
at that time it was y'all waited.
The next
Well,
podcast,
like,
I will.
Yours came out like a couple weeks before Ryan's came out.
I'll tell you what. The next
Or was it a
podcast,
couple weeks after?
I will speak. I will speak on the album, and we'll just do it from there.
No, you
Yeah.
gotta run the interview back.
No, but
It's
yeah.
a zero's
we
crucial.
definitely have to do the interview for Jason.
Then you gotta
to be
run the
real.
interview back.
I gotta go through it.
We just gotta figure out like
Time
time,
to navigate.
and I'll get questions for it for you. I'll be the mediator again.
Andy doing the mediator. Josh on the guru, baby.
Indigo Ryan, the Navigator.
Indy doing the mediator. I'm just kidding. Indy doing the kin.
I mean, the king can mediate.
All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
I've been Josh
It's not
on
a
the barger,
contradiction,
so
but
it's
that's
all
not my
good.
name.
Today I'm Calvin.
It's all right. You can have
He says, "I'm
alter
just
egos.
Calvin."
It's not bad to have alter
Today I'm
egos.
Josh on the
Calvin at
muncher.
Jocelyn,
The muncher. I knew you were a munch.
Munching on some glue.
I genuinely I wasn't triggered
Oh, it's a flop.
whatsoever. I wasn't even bothered when you're like, I'll just eat on the podcast. Like I cracked the joke and that was about it. That's all I felt towards it. But it's the fact that we have been sitting in this room for at least minimum 20 minutes before we started this, just shooting the
You really think it's been 20 minutes?
yeah,
At
minimum.
least.
Well, I
minimum.
recorded whatever the last one was because I already had my shit.
Are we
set up.
recording right now?
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that. We
I have no idea, dude.
I did my job.
Should have read
I'm
that.
3 bombs in. I'm
So
pretty-
last
Are you
last
sure?
podcast, what
Are
was
you
it? The
sure you're
computer
sure?
died, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
but-
think there was another way for us to mess up the podcast, but
We found a way.
found a way.
We found a
last week.
way.
So, keys. If you're gonna set up a podcast, make sure you plug in your Mac for the recording to go through. Plug in your iPhone so your camera doesn't die. Turn it on Do Not Disturb so that you don't hear any buzzing, and make sure that it's on silent so you don't hear any buzzing. Do Not Disturb so it doesn't cut the recording off. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have if you pizza when you're supposed. What was it? When you
I actually put some funny. I don't know. Did you watch it? Did you see me put the little comments in there?
No.
There's
Those are the comments.
so there's during the podcast. There's a point where it's
Which
like
one?
last
I almost
one
watched it.
because you said you watched the
I
last one,
watched
right?
the middle of it.
Okay.
I watched it where it got
So there's a point where we start talking about or there's a point where the mics fall off because the computer died, and I put a comment at the top right. I was like, sorry for the inconvenience. The mics died or whatever, and I put a frowny face. And then 15 minutes later, we're talking about the screensaver and stuff. And Jason's like, oh yeah, I stare at the screensaver all the time. And then I was like, doesn't notice that the Mac's dead. 15 minutes later.
I just thought I was doing something different.
It was geek.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
So I didn't throw that little edit in there, but it was funny.
Oh, it's hot dog. If you hot dog when you're supposed to pizza,
But that was the
you're
first
gonna have
time.
a bad time.
That was
Sorry.
the first time breaking the wall, though. You know what I mean?
It's a South Park reference.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I broke the wall.
Facts. Fourth
You
wall
broke the wall every time
broken.
you walk through a doorway at your fat ass.
Bro, I ain't back.
Got him.
I should probably get fatter, honestly.
Of the wall.
I need to get a little. I need to get a little bulkier, just a little bit.
Calvin.
How do I feel about that?
So he's still waiting on his workout.
Oh yeah. The only reason why I haven't worked out all this whole year is because Calvin has refused to give me a workout plan.
Yeah, Calvin. This is ridiculous.
Do you know how much of a process clay has to go to be moldable, workable clay? That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh, he's saying that you ain't even worth the.
That's
the
not what
mold
I'm
yet.
saying.
You know what's crazy?
I'm saying there has to be a process beforehand, and I've seen bits and pieces. And I've heard more and more of the process, and it's made me want to be like, all right, let me go get the par cues ready. Let me go get what I'm gonna need when I feel like, hey, I have the time to be able to do that.
Hey, bro,
'Cause
all I'm
right
saying
now it
is
is
like,
more
AKA,
you
he
know,
forgot about it. So.
No.
15 push-ups,
Okay.
20 pull-ups, some sit-ups, some fucking
Is that daily?
other exercises. No, I'm just saying, like, that's all I need.
So that's what I should
Get
be
started.
doing.
That's what I'm gonna fucking do in like 7 days once I'm done this shit.
Honestly, once I hit the
all you
pool
gotta-
once
like,
and
that's where you start with.
feel like I need to lose some weight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
what
putting.
I don't know.
Go
My whole
back.
point was that,
If you're
like,
doing that every day, because here's the thing, right? If I go tell you to do 50-pound goblin squats, you're not going to want to keep doing that. You're not going to want to do that repetitively. If I go tell you to do dips, you're not going to want to do that repetitively.
yeah, all
But
I
if
asked
you
for this.
start
I just
with-
asked for the starter kit, dude. I didn't ask for the.
I
fucking-
mean, but that's the thing, though. You don't hire somebody to.
I didn't hire you though. I
For the
just asked
starter
as a
kit.
friend to just give me a little
Yeah,
helpful
not
hint.
as a
I
friend.
have
You know what I mean?
several times. I have.
I just wanted
we
his
have
friend
had
to
the
help him out.
discussion.
That's all.
We have had the discussion of like, all right, we'll start with this then. This is what you do. And I mentioned about how, and I'll give this to everybody. If you're in a situation and circumstance in your job where you have to lift things, where you have to move things, where there's any type of physical exertion that you actively feel, not in the sense of like, oh, that was kind of heavy, but when you pick something up, you're like, ooh, I worked for that. Do it again. Like I remember when I was a bar back, every time I lifted a keg, I would clean it, I would put it down, I'd lift it again, then I'd carry it. Because and as opposed to activating and locking in your muscle where it's at, it causes your muscle to activate, release, activate again, and then when you're locking, you're actually forcing your body to lock instead of just a natural fluid motion. And so when you cut your cycle, I wasn't just saying that to be like, oh, this is a good tidbit. No, I was actively trying to show you this is where you start to teach your body. We are going to start improving ourselves because you can't just jump into it. That's why I gave the clay reference, because you can't just go dig up Georgia clay and build a pot. You have to
Gotta wet it.
refine it. You have to put it through the process.
Jump in the pool
And
first.
so, and yes, I could give you the process, and you're 100% right about that. But
Yeah.
I'm also not in the same.
All I know
boat
is that when you
if
see my
you-
transformational journey in 2 years, you could have been a part of it. and now,
1,000%.
and now you're gonna be like, damn, and it could have been on your resume.
No,
but now
not
it's gonna be
whatsoever.
on me.
Yeah, you
Genuinely,
so
not whatsoever.
500-pound man.
Because at the end of the day, at the,
300
All I'm saying is that I don't claim to be a personal
He
trainer.
made it.
at the end of the day, I don't claim to be a personal trainer either. I claim I truthfully state that I am a
I said I was gonna make it
certified
bad.
in personal trainer. I am not a personal trainer. I wanted
Facts.
to be one. I applied to several gyms. I
True.
applied to several internships.
I'm a personnel trainer.
It showed me through those applications and through it what it took to do the aspect that I actually wanted to focus in. I was like, well, I'd rather just take the knowledge I have and apply it to what I'm doing specifically right now, and I'd rather study the game. Because as of right now, I personally don't feel comfortable just telling you, all right, start here. Start
Facts.
here, and then I'll figure out what you're going to do next. And I'll figure out what you're going to do next. So I'm not going to set you on a course I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to set you on a course to be building yourself incorrectly.
Facts.
When I feel like I am not necessarily adequate.
Mm.
Yes, I could legally, and that's the only difference between me having a certification and me just giving you advice, is because legally, if you hurt yourself off of the advice I gave you, I'm
True.
not liable
Now
because
you-
I am certified.
Facts.
I'm suing you immediately.
I honestly had like,
No.
I lifted up the keg twice and my back broke.
bro.
So be
That's
it.
If I'm being
That's
honest,
cool.
I had to like, I was about to just continue making jokes, but I really was feeling what you're saying, so I just decided not to.
I was gonna say.
I was like,
I-
he's actually saying something real
I brought
right
it
now,
up
but
as
I
a
was
joke.
really just about to keep making
and
jokes.
like I didn't realize I was gonna open Pandora's box when
What?
I brought it up as a joke.
What?
Calvin not
It
giving me
really
the
wasn't
recipe.
even.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
really not even like.
It's just
I
on
mean,
Eddie's
yeah.
fault.
Pandora's box.
It's all Eddie's fault. My bad, guys.
No,
I'll
about-
take blame.
About like a month ago, I had a revelation that
Yeah.
it was going to be on me, but
Just go get
it's
some
all good.
BBL, dude.
It really, it's all good. Dude.
BBL
It's
Ryan, you'll
like-
be looking exactly how
It's
you
all
need to
good,
be.
bro. I'm just trying to get.
I
all
got
good.
that BB.
But,
We gonna get healthy. At the end of
and
the
like I
day,
said,
that's what matters.
1,000%.
We're
And,
gonna get
and
healthy.
it's nothing about, and it's not.
Look at that guy.
But it
That guy's
is-
got a routine. Say.
For our audio and visual listeners, that there was a guy that was
You
just
could be a
balling on this
visual
dude.
listener.
No, he hit the
Yes.
kettlebell. He hit the kettlebell and then he dunked.
Make it make sense.
A visual
So
listener.
if you describe something to me, right, and I can visualize it in my
I'm
head.
listening to your audio of
That
a
was a nice
visual
goal.
description.
A visual
It
listener.
was nice.
I'm listening to your audio
Dang it.
of
Okay.
a visual
Well, if you don't,
description.
you can disagree with me. That's fine. But that was my
that's
explanation.
Literally, like that's literary definition though.
Boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Ryan's
No,
like-
I'm not actually gonna die.
Ryan's
on
like,
this. It
Ryan's
was a
like, we need to use the
mistake,
headphones
but-
because when we do that, we tend to yell. He goes, boring. I look at the
See,
sound
but, like,
wave
that's
just
my
clipped
thing,
out
like-
the ass.
It's also what really took me out of train is because when you say visual
Go ahead.
listener,
But it would have been even louder though if I didn't have the headphones on.
when you say
You know?
when you say visual listener, it makes me feel
Wasn't that funny?
less towards the people that actually watch. Because if you're a visual listener, then you're not even.
So what do you
watching.
call
Yo,
the?
Mad Max 2, guys.
Okay, so
Visualize what we're listening.
all right, so you have the
That's
people.
my point, so
Okay,
you're not
okay.
watching.
Hold on. Before we just go back and forth forever, why don't
visual
we?
listener.
Okay, so it's a person who's listening. You have a listener, right? And they're not really
Listening,
watching it. But if you're watching the visual part, what do you call that?
You're just the audience.
You're a
A
visual.
visionary.
No, you're the audience because it's a
No, yeah.
it's an act.
You're an
of
audience.
A
cinematic.
viewer. Be a,
it's-
you be a
You're
viewer.
a viewer.
Yeah, viewer.
A viewer and a listener. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, take that.
So visual listener.
Wait, did we
Could be
go? Did
correct.
you look at those comments?
There's no comments. Yeah, Sparky Pokey's
No, there's-
lacking.
Disappointing.
Fuck, he's lacking.
Yeah, Sparky.
I did see though because that was my first thought. My first thought was, did Pokey not watch?
No.
And
The
then
last
I
one was
like,
pretty heated though,
there's-
so I don't know if there was much to comment on.
There's 3 likes and 20 views as of right now, and so I was just like, all right, well, one of them are probably
20, yeah.
one of them are probably pokes.
Nah,
You probably didn't comment.
Shout
'cause
out,
we're still
shout out.
saying
You definitely
Pokey.
watching.
Well, he sent me a picture once of him watching it on his TV. So it might be that he puts it on the TV and then he'd have to go back and comment.
Sure.
So he could have, I mean, who knows? He could have watched it just
I
not.
don't know. Where would you comment on that last one? Seemed pretty heated.
Stop fighting, guys.
I'm sure we could say there's.
No, I think it's a good.
Dad and
I
Dad.
don't. I actually don't. I don't dislike the.
Nah, I
when-
thought it was good commentary.
because people need it. Because there's gonna be people that listen to both sides and they're gonna agree with each side.
Elsewise, the only conflict you get in your life is fucking a child molester and a
Wait.
retired veteran.
A what?
A what?
We're talking about Diddy and Drake. What?
What? Just wait.
What
Wait.
happened?
Repeat.
Say that
Maybe
again,
reword.
yeah.
Maybe reword it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not repeating that word because I don't
Just
know if you're
reword it.
allowed
Just
to say
reword
the
what.
word.
Reword what your point was.
A-
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to.
A baby liker and a retired vet.
Baby liker's not good.
And that's what. What
Everyone
was you?
likes
What were you
babies.
trying to reference?
I don't like.
You
babies.
like them too much.
I don't like babies.
You don't like babies?
No.
I don't really know how
Even
you got
like
there
holding
from
yours.
that.
I sat there and I.
Bullshit.
The first thing I said when I walked out of the room is, "I'm so happy you reminded
Bullshit.
me of why I don't want one."
Bullshit.
I don't like babies, right? I like.
I don't want one. Has a son that's 3 years old.
He's like, I don't even like kids at all, especially 3
Do
year
y'all
olds.
know? Do y'all know? And I'm man enough to say this to the world. Do y'all know what the first thing I said when I found out was? I'll run
Oh,
you through the
shit.
story. I'll run you through the story, right?
Was
when
it
it-
oh shit?
No.
Of when you found out you were having a kid.
Is
Yeah.
it mine?
Oh,
So
dude, you know
and
what?
mind
I've
you-
been waiting for the parent podcast. I have like I have great
I know.
questions.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it to happen,
Well,
but
But,
Gotta get on the girls on that one.
but this could be a prelude. So continue.
Mind you, the presentation had a lot to do with it. But I was going into work, and one of our roommates and like Bree's best friend was working there with me on this day. And so I walk into work, and she
What's where
comes
we?
sprinting up
Where
to me.
we worked?
No, this is
Was it afterwards?
The barbecue
before.
joint.
No,
Yeah.
not there either.
Oh.
I was
Not
at
there?
I was at the bar.
yeah, but Bree took the
Oh,
test.
I know you're
inside
talking.
the
I know
barbecue
you're
joint.
talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
I wasn't there.
I know you're talking
I was at
about.
the bar.
Baby, yeah.
I remember now.
I was at the bar after.
Okay. I forgot
After
you
the
worked
pub.
there.
I
Dude,
remember.
I worked at the
I
bar.
forgot
after
you
the
worked
pub.
there.
I was there for a minute.
I
too.
applied there too. They didn't call me back.
Oh, Well, everybody else I know that plug is wrong, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
Welcome.
The pub that we went
The
to
one-
for my birthday. Not the one I used to work at, but the other one.
Oh,
Or the bar.
the bar,
I think I know.
the multi-level bar, the one with 3.
Oh wait, no, I didn't apply there.
Technically 3,
Three?
but
Oh,
they don't
you were
use-
at that one.
I was
I
at
thought you were
that one.
the
talking.
wing spot.
I thought you were talking about the grill.
Wing night.
Wing
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the grill.
That's what I
No,
thought.
no, yeah.
I thought you were talking about the other
I
one.
was at the bar. I was at the sports bar.
I remember.
And so I was walking in from the bottom. So I was on the third because I did some miscreant activity out back before I walked into work. And so walked in third level. I'm like walking up the second level and it's always empty when I get there because there's really no need for people to go down there until after I'm already clocked in. Like pretty much, right? Because I'm coming right at that time. And so I walk in, I look up, and this best friend, I'll shout out Caitlin. See, maybe I shouldn't have. But
Too late.
Caitlin comes running down the stairs, and she's like, Bree needs to talk to you. I was like, all
Not
right.
Caitlin knowing.
Because
beforehand.
I was the 4th person to find out.
That's crazy.
Mind you, right?
I was. The
I,
first.
at this time, don't think I had a phone because I had, like, literally just shattered mine.
Damn.
So she comes sprinting out.
Shatter phone, no position to be receiving this news.
Comes sprinting out.
If
Like,
you have cracks in your screen.
yeah, it was bad.
I have
well, it
cracks
was
on my
like it was a
screen,
couple
that's-
days before. It was a couple days before, but it was, like this was right after I figured out like this phone's done for. You know what I mean? Because originally like the bottom half of the screen was working, and I was trying to make it happen, but it
That's
just
the
wasn't
worst.
happening. But so she comes sprinting down the stairs, comes on up to me. Bree needs to talk to you. I was like, all right. So take the phone. She's like, hey. I was like, you good? She goes, yeah. I was like, can I wait till after work? She goes, no. It's like, what is it? She's like, I think I'm pregnant. And mind you, like a week or two before, she had just out of the blue, like just turned to me and been like, I think I'm gonna be pregnant. I was just like, what? She's like, I think I'm gonna be pregnant. I was just like, okay, like if it happens, it happens. If it don't, pretty much, right? So she does that, and she's like, I think I'm pregnant. I turn to Caitlin, I see how like her face is sitting there waiting to see my reaction. Originally think it's bullshit, and I'm like sitting here trying to process, looking at Caitlin. I think it's bullshit, realize it's not bullshit. I just turned and went, okay. Handed her back the phone, went and worked my job.
Not the okay. That's crazy.
I mean, what else are you supposed to say in that moment?
I'm
Yeah, I get
literally
it.
about to clock in, and mind you, it's Wednesday, and at this place, Wednesday's the busiest fucking night. I'm about to get my teeth beat in by my job. I'm the only one on shift today because they called me in that day because everybody else had called out. I'm literally about to get my blown in, like ran through. And you wait till right before.
I don't know why you
'cause
accentuated
mind
that
you-
so many times. Dude. The first time it was good.
No, because literally, like, it was the worst shift I had. Beyond having to like realize the fact that all right, life's about to change for me. It like just on the regular, it was the worst
That's
shift I
crazy.
had there. Because this was also the exact same shift where I kept this lady who couldn't keep her mouth shut with her friend group from getting her beat in by this dude that was ready to swing on her, carried
you
his
should've let
ass
it.
outside
Oh, I
to
remember
walk
that.
out to
She
the
was pissing me
patio,
off.
to walk out to the patio
I wasn't there.
to her calling me in, or calling the white dude I just kicked out for her the hard R. So yeah, let's keep laughing about it. I had a
Right.
show day
R-word?
on that day.
Damn, that's
I
tough.
walked out to Vic.
How much?
I'm
See
sorry,
this
I
lady.
couldn't, I'm sorry.
I met this lady. I literally just like I caught his arm as he was swinging on her.
How much did you
Wait,
make?
I remember you
called him
telling me
so-
this
a
story,
redneck?
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what
First of all, you should have just let her get rocked. Second of all, how
Well, I
much?
didn't-
How much did you make this day?
not enough.
Some BBL.
Especially not
Tough.
enough. Especially not enough. Because on this day, the main dude that was supposed to be working, whose shift I took, came, clocked in, and left. So I didn't realize.
Solid move.
I didn't
Was it-
realize.
Not
was
to
it
clock
me?
in and leave.
Was it me?
No, it was
You just show
too
up
late.
at.
I love it, dude.
Okay.
You show up at 9, clock in, show up at 5, clock back out.
That's amazing.
So-
that was his MO 100%.
Yeah.
How,
So I was
how long do you think you get away
splitting
with that?
tip share.
Oh, dude, he got away with it for like a year.
Oh, yeah,
I
for a
worked
fat
there
minute.
for a year and he got
because
away with it. He
even
still
once,
works there.
Once I started realizing,
Oh, yes, he used to. He used to. I don't know if he
Not that
still does.
still works there.
once I,
He
started,
still.
once I started realizing, I was making him give me a cut. Like I was like, dude,
That's what I
ain't
did
gonna-
too.
I ain't gonna say nothing about it, but I promise you, you're not taking my portion too. Like, I'm
you gotta
baby.
give me something for it.
I'm
Yeah.
baby, bro. And so I'd make him
Bro.
get a cut, and I was still underage at the time, so I made him splash.
You know, I'm down to go work somewhere where I can just clock in and leave.
Yeah,
Like,
clock in and leave. Come back
But,
later.
yeah,
How
no,
y'all
like-
do
And
today?
it's wild though. Because I was happy.
How was the day
That's
today?
the only
Sweet.
job I ever worked at that you could get away with that.
Oh yeah. No, I would argue I low key do it at my like not the big boy job, but the big event job. At that
See,
one, I definitely do it.
I couldn't do that at my job
Literally
because
the-
you have to get a checkout.
Uh-huh.
There's like a separate clock out thing.
There's no
Well,
way,
it depends
dude.
on how you clock in though.
It's not even
So I
worth it
worked
for me.
a
I'm
job-
in
I had more
$2
buttons
an
than
hour.
you.
So-
No, actually,
Okay.
I think you had more buttons, but all of your buttons were based on.
Bro.
If I did, well, technically I can clock in and clock out, but they run it at the end of the day, and I don't know how the list works. If it's like maybe they don't need to run a checkout. I don't know.
But
Because
also,
I have an hourly position, then I have like the minimum wage
Yeah.
position where
Yeah.
you do. The
I'm
bullshit.
making $2, so there's no reason for me to be doing all that.
Well,
I
it's
have
really-
both in the books. It
I
just
worked
depends
at
on what
one
time we're
place.
working, how much I make.
We're gonna pause this conversation because I know too much about that and how to. Because I have. You and I both know the coworker we had that I had to figure out how to fudge that system for. Not to help, but to prevent. Because once I started doing the
We'll
numbers,
keep that off the air though.
exactly. But
I worked at a place one time, right after we got back from the journey, right? This restaurant, and I'll say what it was. I'm not gonna say the name. Actually, no, they're closed. I can say the name. It was called the Walnut Tavern, and it's the only place I ever. No, not a shout out.
Ouch! Ouch!
Ouch.
It's the only place I ever worked at that closed down while I worked there.
Damn, what'd you do?
that shit was so.
What about
sketchy,
the
though.
other one?
I remember him.
Dude, it
I
was
heard about
so
this.
sketchy.
Were you not
running
working
down-
at the barbecue joint?
I didn't work there when they closed.
Okay. Were you working
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, but I had gotten hired 2 weeks before.
That's crazy.
I got hired back just to get fired.
Not 2
Yeah, I
weeks.
remember that.
Tired
2
of getting
weeks
hired and
before.
fired the same day. Name that artist.
And then went through a whole.
Name that
I have
artist.
no idea.
No idea.
I don't know.
Eminem.
What song?
I don't know. I bet you I could think of it. Oh, I'm Infinite.
What
Okay.
about,
I don't know. Dude.
No.
What album is
We
that
didn't know
off
the
of?
artist. How we listen to this
Old
song?
Pop said I needed the
Old,
job,
old,
ended up
old.
leaving.
Man, that was
it.
fucking
One of
I
the
got
first-
fired because I was inspired by all of my friends.
That's Kendrick, obviously. But
Okay, well, anyways, right, to finish the story, at that job, I could do
think it's-
anything I wanted.
I think it's the
Like,
Infinite.
I could
album.
drink
was
on
so
the job,
Maybe the first
I could
album.
smoke on the job,
That shit was
like,
so
I could
sketchy,
do
though.
anything I wanted,
Yeah.
like, on the line, too. And that was
That
the
was nice.
craziest job to me.
I remember, like, I knew you needed to get the out of there when you came home, and you were like, "Yeah, so my manager just offered me a bag this big of something you're not supposed to have, like just on the free for being a good employee." And I was just like, "Bruh, nah." Like,
I told you to
something
take
going on there.
it. I said you should take
Yeah, I
it.
wish we would have got off
There's
that right
something going
now.
on there.
There's-
Like,
yeah.
nah,
I wish
man.
that offer.
That was a
would've came
different
in.
job. That was a different job you're thinking of.
It might have been.
But-
was that the different job that was like with the same people, or
No.
was that a whole different?
That was a whole different
That
job.
was the,
but
like-
he did get the chef there got me the job at that place.
That,
And
yeah,
that's
that
what
tracks.
that was.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Pass it. Good
True,
pass.
true.
Finish.
It's coming.
Oh,
yeah.
But
you
regardless,
It was
that person who did offer me that bag is a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like he is a good
that
guy
Siakam?
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Siakam just.
no, it was
got
no,
traded.
it was
Dude, Siakam
it
looks like
wasn't
he has
that
no
that I
idea what
told
he's
you to, like,
doing.
He
get
got
out
traded
of
this year to
it.
them.
The day
At
I
the
was like,
deadline,
dude,
'cause the
you
Raptors
need
just
to
sold the whole
make-
team
It was
away.
when I asked you about
The
your
Raptors
taxes
should have
there.
traded on.
Oh,
Paul
dude, yeah, he
when
literally.
got
I saw,
Kawhi and Paul
let
back in
me
the day.
tell you guys about what this happened. Right, so I asked my boss
The only thing
at
is
that
Kawhi, they've been
restaurant.
hurt
My
every year. They get to the playoffs to get
official
hurt.
apology, and the off chance the person who I was referring to originally sees this, I was wrong. You are lit. Regardless, continue.
Right, so I asked my boss at this job, right, Walnut Tavern,
Damn, 3 minutes.
if I should, like, how I should file my taxes, and he said don't. And I was like, what? And he was like, don't.
That's a trap.
And I was like, all right, I need to get out of this place.
Yep. He's
Right,
basically just like, so is this a 1099? Because you were getting paid hella sketchy too.
it was all on Cash App.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what?
Cash
Yeah.
App was dumb. Why would you just do cash?
I don't know.
Well, and that's the worst part about it, because you can file taxes through Cash App, dog.
Yeah, cash out. All that shit is traceable. It's
Yeah,
all
Like,
dumb.
dude.
you can file all
I
he
didn't-
would have had it done is been like, all right, just file them anyway.
I didn't make like
Bro,
crazy
I've
money.
always hated
still-
those.
because I didn't work there long enough to make crazy money.
Dude, I've
You
hated
didn't,
those.
like, you got out. Well, you didn't even get out. It
It-
outed itself.
It outed itself
What
because
year-
of how bad it ran.
What year did Venmo and all that come out?
I want to say
So,
like
Cash App's
2015.
Venmo was a
16?
long time ago.
I'm gonna say
16.
2016 for
Nah,
Cash App.
bro,
2015.
I think y'all are.
Venmo's got to be earlier.
y'all-
for
Okay,
sure.
but not
People
when
were
it
using that
came.
I was in
Maybe
high
not when it
school.
came, but when it actually got popular. Like it was like.
What's all right? What
2015.
are official bets before I click?
I'm gonna say Venmo 2012. I'm gonna say Cash App 2015.
I'm thinking Venmo's 2011. Cash App's 13.
I'm gonna say, but Venmo didn't get popular until like 2015.
And I would actually say Cash App probably got popular before Venmo.
But
did,
Cash App
funnily
had a
enough.
bad rap for a while. It felt like the dingy version.
Well, it's
of-
because it was like the drug dealer app. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everyone who was like sending money through Cash App.
I didn't
buy
trust
drugs,
that for.
right?
Bro, I
Whenever people
fucking-
like, oh, do you got Cash App? I'd be like, nah, bro.
Dude, I
got,
fucking
like,
hated
Venmo.
that shit, bro. I never even made one until for the longest time. 'Cause I did not. I was like, just give me cash, bro.
I actually have some money in my Cash App because every time I get money on Cash App, I just leave it in there.
Huh. All right.
What?
So I'm also gonna throw in because I didn't even think about this one until.
What, PayPal?
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
PayPal's
PayPal's
been-
way
Yeah,
older.
that's
Yeah,
old
that's
as
way
shit.
older.
That's
like
that's
the
a
first
little
one,
different.
yeah.
Though.
That's
a little
eBay
different.
and PayPal.
but-
like,
It's
We're
the
throwing out
same.
dates,
It's
so
the same, but it's just a little different.
Official date guess on PayPal, then Venmo.
I
then
can't
Cash App.
take a guess because I saw
'Cause
it. I
I
saw it
can't-
on pretty sure.
PayPal's
you
like
saw
2000, like
Or no, I saw PayPal.
PayPal's like
PayPal's like-
2006.
that was Venmo.
Oh, then I guess I can't take a guess.
PayPal is like,
06.
I would even be say, or maybe I don't know.
I was gonna
Maybe
say
it's
2005 or 2006. Yeah, one of the two.
PayPal is 06.
I feel like PayPal is
So,
like
so Ryan, what's official guess on PayPal?
06.
whenever the internet
Official
was
guess on
invented.
PayPal.
06.
I'm gonna say 2003. I don't know why. I'm just feeling
Oh,
2003.
two.
Official guess 02.
01. Fuck it.
That's might be a bad idea.
December 1998.
Damn.
I wanted to go 90s, but I was gonna say like 96.
It is. That's the thing about these things
Alright.
though, because when were they created and when do they catch on?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
1000%.
Because
that's what I was asking.
so, but yeah, that makes
Ryan,
sense.
official date on Venmo.
Well,
official guess.
I'm gonna say 2008. After that,
I'm gonna say 2011.
actually no. Wait, the
I
iPhone.
don't remember what I
11.
said, but
I
I
like
already
11.
made the guess
I like
before I saw that
2011.
number.
But it-
2009.
Doesn't. Oh, I was close with the 8, but it didn't get popular until like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna touch on that, but I want to do Cash App first. Official guess.
I'm gonna stick
2012.
to my guns and say 2015 on Cash
I'm gonna
App.
say 2014.
2012.
I believe, and I'm gonna double check because I'm pretty sure it's the same as my guess. I don't want to confuse. October 2013.
2013.
Ah.
So here's my
Off by a year.
follow up. What year did PayPal acquire Venmo?
I
2004.
didn't even know they did that.
14.
20.
Okay, well,
Venmo was founded in
17.
2009.
2014.
And I'll give and you said it started popping off around 14, 15, which is the reason I found this interesting. So what year?
2016.
I already
So
said
we got
17. I'm gonna
16,
stick to it.
17. Ryan, what's your
Probably
guess?
14.
13.
13.
When
I was a
Cash
year
App
off on all
dropped,
those.
PayPal bought out Venmo.
Yeah.
Because they were scared. They were scared, huh?
And
They
Venmo.
understood.
Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. I just like because you can't like go to the store and use your Venmo unless you could get a Venmo credit card.
You
But
can
at
get a Venmo debit card now.
Yeah, but at the time you couldn't.
You
It
can
was
get
like
a PayPal card now.
Well, yo,
Yeah.
they changed. PayPal changed the rules. It used to be if you made less than 20 grand a year off PayPal, like you wouldn't have to pay tax on everything. Now they changed it to like $500 or 5,000.
600.
$600. Anything above 600 you're taxed on.
Yeah, I believe it.
600. It used to be 20,000.
That's how it works for
Wow.
us as freelancers. Anything above 600 that we make, we get taxed on
In a week.
in a year.
Year to date.
That's ridiculous.
Because you're officially employed. Because like if
They-
I throw
how do
you,
they pay you actually?
if I throw you $20,
Oh yeah, how did you get
Cash
paid?
App?
Through Venmo. Funnily
Venmo?
enough, yeah.
No
One of them
way.
pays us through Venmo.
well, I've been getting freaking mine through PayPal. Cause
PayPal's not bad though.
Oh yeah, she's all out of yeah.
she's
I would-
all out of
transactions.
Venmos.
I would rather get it through
Sends
PayPal.
this man 5 Venmos on the same day, and then like, oh, can I send it through PayPal to be?
Why don't you just withdraw cash?
Because that
You don't see
Because there's
each
a
other?
trace. There's
Bro,
a trace. Yeah, you
gotta
need a
have the
trace.
trace.
Yeah.
Oh, you need the trace.
Yeah.
we're independent
Mm.
contracted.
I mean, to a point, technically, you could work
That's,
3. If you worked 4 days, you could
Or
work
a
3
check.
on the books, 1
Just
off.
gotta do a check.
Well,
Everyone pays less taxes.
I don't even want to go there because
saying.
I don't want to get involved in her books at all.
No, neither
Put
do
it
I.
that way.
Yeah.
Not even because I think she's doing some sketchy, but just because hers are not put together, and it's very apparent. And that's not even shade to her because I'm not gonna act like my don't stink. To the same extent, though,
I don't give-
I'm not
you
an
know,
employer.
We'll switch it.
Yeah, we'll switch off this topic. Yeah.
Did you have a topic last
So
time?
how about that airplane?
What happened? There was an airplane crash again?
Once no matter whatever.
No, I don't think so.
My topic. I brought it up.
Baby.
My topic was like
Have you
respect
guys
thing.
ever? Have you guys ever been chilling in a parking space
Oh.
in the shade, eating a po' boy with some fries?
I almost got kidnapped in a parking space in Baltimore once.
Oh yeah, it's
At
like
Wendy's?
Oh, that was almost got carjacked
that was so funny.
in Baltimore.
How do you get kidnapped?
Yo, let me tell you this story though. I'll tell you this story. It's a weird story. I was in college, and I was in the car, and I had a bunch of people with me, and I was stupid to have listened to someone who was like, "Let's go to Wendy's," and I didn't really care. I was smoking, so I was like, "Fuck it." So we go to this Wendy's, but it's a Wendy's that's on. I don't know how they did this, but it says it's open online, but you go there and the shit's like shut down. Then there's someone standing outside of it in a Wendy's outfit, like uniform, looking like they just got off work waiting for a ride. And there's cars through the drive-thru. So the whole thing, it's all lit up. It looks like it's all on, but I realized after all this that it was all just a front. So it's on. So people, and it's in this weird spot next to this gas station. It's somewhere in Baltimore. I'm sure someone could find it if they look for it. And I pull up to the drive-thru. And I'm waiting in line, and we're there for like 5 minutes, and nothing's moving. And I'm just like, I'm starting to get. And as we walked up, we got marked out by somebody who was walking, who put his hand like this, like in his jacket. He put his hand like this and kind of pointed at us. And I saw that. I was like, oh shit, okay, he just marked us out. But I was just like, I mean, shit, I was arrogant. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, so I'm sitting there, and after a while, I'm starting to get a little like, this isn't moving. Like, now I'm starting to feel a little like maybe we should just get out of here. Like, whatever. This dude rolls up in a wheelchair, like hands in a blanket. It was cold, so my hands in a blanket on his lap. He comes up to my window, and he's like, "Oh, roll down the window." And I was like, "Oh no, it's broken." Because I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna roll down my window. Fuck out of here." He rolls around the other side, and he's like, "Rolled it down." I was like, "Nah, it's broken too." And he's like, then now he knows I'm just bullshitting him. So then I'm like, "Yo, we need to go. Like, this is not."
Well, none of my windows work in my car right now. It's actually very.
So that's
nice.
fair,
Yeah.
Mine did. So then he's like, he starts to move, and then the other dude's like, "Yo, no, it's cool, like the Wendy's." And I'm looking around, I'm like, this like none of this looks right. But at the time, shit, I was young and arrogant, so I really didn't give a shit. To a point, I was like, I'm cool, like I'm good.
Alright, let him run up.
Yeah, but
I could take.
so
bullet or
yeah.
two.
So then he looks up, like we all look the other way or something. I don't know what we're doing. He like looks up and he starts to call his like somebody over. And then we look back at him, and he pulls his hand down like he wasn't just doing that. And I was like, nah, fuck that. And I was like, because we were close to the car in front of us, I was like, if a car pulls up behind us, we're boxed in. I was like, we're finna have to like get out of here like that. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. So we just drove off. And then when we drove off, like as we were driving off, a dude from the gas station was running up like towards us. And then the other guy was like, come on, like that, like what the fuck are you doing, like, you know what I mean? So I knew that was we were not in a good spot right there. That was Baltimore. Baltimore's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was just being stupid, like, and I was like, I don't even like Wendy's, like, why the fuck am I even here? But just being dumb.
Tell him what I told.
So today was like a weird day because we don't have the full amount of jobs we would have right now. So like both me and him had this like ridiculously long break in between first gig and like what's usually
first gig and third gig, yeah.
But there was no second gig today because we usually work second gig together.
Mm.
And so I finished mine, and he had shot me.
Funnily enough, he actually worked my normal
His-
first gig.
And you worked mine, or no?
I just worked a
new
new gig, yeah.
But so I finish, and he had texted me like for me to see afterwards, and he was basically just like, "Do you have a third gig today?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do." And he was like, "Cool, neither do I. You should come to where I'm at." I was just like, "Bruh." Like
He called. Well, I texted him and then he called me.
Because it also wasn't like it wasn't convenient for me. Like it wasn't like it was closer to what I was doing. But it was just where you were, so I was just like, all right, wait, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. And he offered me food. So, but how he did it was when I called him, I was like, where are you at? He's like, I just sent you my location. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, what are you doing? And I kid you not, I'm gonna try to replicate it perfectly, right? No, I'm gonna try to replicate it perfectly because this is what I hear. You know, I'm in a parking lot. There's some nice shade. Eating a po' boy. And I got some fries. That is exactly how he says it. And like you guys, if you're common listeners, you know that's not Eddie's voice. But that is verbatim how this man delivers.
Eddie just thought he was on the King of the Hill show.
I swear. But what had me about it most was that like the lip smacking beforehand was so authentic. He literally. I'm in a parking lot. Like, I was rolling, bro. It was so fucking stupid. Like, it was so stupid.
Did that sound like country?
Yeah. Like, exactly how I just said it was how it came across on the vote. I'm in a parking lot. There's some nice shade. I got a po' boy. And I got some fries. You can have the other half of po' boy. like, exactly like that. And the funniest part about it, though, to me at least, was when I pulled up. Like, if I were to describe something as nice shade, it was exactly where he was. And it was, like, a low-key parking lot. And he was outside of, like it was literally called the Po' Boy Shop or something like that. Like,
That's what it was called. It's called a Po' Boy Shop.
It was called the Po' Boy Shop. He was outside of a Po' Boy Shop with a Po' Boy. And it was sitting in the seat when I went to go hop in his car. I was just like, I don't think there could have been a more just blatantly literal description of exactly what you were inviting me to. I don't think I've ever gotten that blatant of an invitation to exactly what. Because it also wasn't like he was sitting there doing anything when I'd gotten there, because he had already finished whatever he was watching, and he was literally just laying in his car staring at the ceiling with half a po' boy and fries in a shady spot in the parking lot. Like, it was such a, it was
a vibe. It was such
felt
a
like,
vibe.
What's that one show? I only watched like a few episodes of it, but what's that one
Trailer
show?
Park Boys.
Along those lines, but it was
Trailer Park Boys.
Nah, it was the Letterkenny.
Letterkenny, that's a good
It was
one.
very
yeah.
Letterkenny.
Bro, if you guys are gonna be spending all this random time just chilling, you need to find a way to be able to maximize that time.
We did Bible study.
That's what we did.
Okay.
It was like it was very like deep in like what can't we figure out in the Bible? Let's talk about it.
Well, I
And
guess there's no way to determine what's wasting time and what's not wasting time. But in the sense of like, if you guys are gonna have this time where like you said you had this lull of,
Fun
like,
enough.
of a couple hours, you guys should find some things that can like that are productive, whether it's that or whatever it is. I mean, obviously, okay, so you get something that is productive in a certain way. So, but just in general, you know what I mean? Versus like 30 minutes scrolling and 30 minutes that, then you know what I mean?
That's
like,
how it went down. Because once I realized he was actually just chilling in the parking lot in the shade, I sat down in the car and I turned to him and I was like we were just kind of talking for a second. And that's how we landed on doing Bible study, funnily enough.
Oh, they penalized
Because I turned to him and I was like, we should definitely just like work on something. We should be productive. Like, we got beats on our phones, like da-da-da-da. And he's like, well, I'm not really in that vibe, but I'm down to talk. And so it just so happened. Like, it wasn't even an intentional thing. We're just like, all right. Well,
I mean, conversation is, I mean, that's different because you guys were together.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing. Like, obviously, like, conversation is productive and, you know. Who's the judge of?
Can we get a refresh button on the?
Yeah, who's the judge of like what's worth your time and what's?
Well,
you know
it's
what
also.
I mean?
Are you looking at it objectively or subjectively? That's another big question with that, because like there is a sense of objective, like progression. There's also a sense of subjective progression. Case in point, one of the things I say all the time is, I cannot, if I don't go home tonight and at least play, like, one round of something, like, and it doesn't even have to be on the PlayStation, but video games are a solace for me. So if I don't play one round of something, I will not function to maximum capacity tomorrow.
Yeah.
like I won't. And so
No, but what I'm saying is,
for
like
my-
four,
for my-
like you guys had like 4 hours today, right?
Yeah.
So like, now you could argue that the 4 hours that you could play,
well,
all
3 because it took me 30 minutes to get there.
Okay,
And
so
30 minutes
you
to
could
get my
argue
next
that 3 hours you could play video games and that was your time
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But then it's just like a collective. Like you could have spent 30 minutes on your phone, this, and that. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you had, say you were a drawer, you could spend that time drawing or whatever the different thing is. So you can't class, like, I'm not the one to
Well,
say
that's why-
whether it's a
but that's-
waste of time or not.
That's objective and subjective, right? Because there's I don't.
But
think
my only
there's-
point is that you guys should, like, if you guys are going to continue on this pathway, like, have you thought about the other pathway?
It's not very normal that
No,
this
yeah,
happened.
this was
this was
like
very
I said,
rare.
it was a this week thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I know you got, like, even so you, like, might have an hour in between.
Mhm.
You know, you could be like, oh, I could 30 minutes, I can do this, I can do that.
Mhm.
Versus, or you can just sit and talk for 30 minutes or reflect, meditate, whatever, play a video game.
I mean, that's basically what I was doing when I was sitting in the car
Yeah.
waiting on you. I was just
But have you thought
meditating.
about the other pathway?
Yeah, actually, I had a conversation with like that dude, the
okay.
family dude.
But basically, if you are going to stay on this path where you know that you have some time to kill, maybe that should just be a thought, like whatever it is. Just so you might think of a whole new fucking thing that you like to do.
Mhm.
You know, that you just only do in that 30-minute, 45-minute time.
And usually,
you know what I mean?
like case, that's why I've been so diligent about not bringing this up again, so freaking diligent. But that's why I used to do the burger reviews because for me it was like
Yeah.
I said
Hasn't posted him on TikTok.
yeah, and I used to say it in the burger review too. Like, I don't know if this is ever gonna see the light of day, but at the very least, I'm getting more comfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah,
And that was
I
my
mean,
biggest
shit.
thing about it.
Like that's why I could it's all subjective. Like,
Yeah.
like
Objective versus
yeah,
subjective.
anyone
correct.
could be like, oh, that's a
Because-
waste of
that's
time, or that's not. But if you sit and you
Damn, that's how
play,
you feel?
if you play like every hour of free time, you play video games. Like
That's what I'm saying.
eventually, it's
But
like
alright, and so
when you have other things to do.
to finish,
If you have
what-
anything else to do, then like
to
shit,
finish
by
what I
all
was
means,
going
play whatever you
with
want.
there, and I was just talking about this the other day too. That's funny. I think I was talking about it you or somebody, but like so the burger review is a great example of that, where I was like, I want to be doing something in this moment. I want to be doing something more than just going out and getting lunch. So I used to go out and maximize lunch. Like, let me also film a review on this because I'm already gonna get a burger. Like, that was my thing. I wanted a burger before I went, and so that was one thing I did there. And like, there are a lot of times where like I do capitalize because I will be not only listening to something and like absorbing what I'm listening to, but I'm also working on something. And that's something I do a lot. And there's a lot of working on music, and yeah, you're 100% right about that. Where it's just like,
That was
oh
crazy.
yeah, it was pretty.
Big hustle.
Yeah, right now we're watching the Knicks absolutely
big time.
fuck up the Pacers, Game
44.4
5.
seconds left.
And we
in
just
the
watched
first period.
Boston unfortunately beat Florida in Game 5 as well. So Just
Can we
to
run
do-
that back? Did you say Pelicans? Or did you
no,
say
I
Patriots?
said we watched
I
the
definitely heard him
Bruins.
say Patriots.
You definitely said Patriots, right?
I
Did I?
definitely heard you say Patriots. Because I didn't even click it.
I
until
might
you
have said the
it.
Patriots
Yeah.
actually. Now I'm thinking
I
about it.
definitely
I'm not
think you
gonna
said
double
Patriots.
down that I didn't, but it was the Bruins. I'm pretty sure I said the Bruins was the Panthers.
No, I thought you said Patriots instead of Pelicans.
You did.
No, I said Pacers.
Oh,
I said
you
the
might have
Knicks
said
are
Patriots.
That's
absolutely
maybe what I
fucking up
heard.
the Pacers.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
That's what I
anything,
said.
so I don't
That's what
know.
it was.
But like for me, like going to work, like I have like the only
What's
free time.
basketball?
On a shot.
The only free time I really have if I'm going to work is like the drive there and back. Like that, I'm like
Mhm.
you could technically classify as wasting, like losing time. And then for the pat, I'll either listen to the album or I'll listen to the pod. We
See,
talked about listening to the podcast, going like
On the drive.
our podcast, or I'll listen to like a Joe Rogan, whatever pod. Just
Yeah.
like get that time in where you're not wasting time later. So for me, like when I know I'm going to work, like I know like this time, like I know that this week, my work schedule like that, like I can't work on the album during that time. All that time is deaded, except there's 1 hour I have on Friday on my break. So if I do enough of the hour, if I get enough done where I can sit down, I can use the hour to like go over the album once.
Mhm.
So it's like, so that's my goal right now is by Friday have it like mixed once, or have it mixed. That way I can go listen to it, touch it up, and then master Saturday, Sunday.
Respect.
Right. So it's like, so I know going into it that when I work, like that time is deaded.
Mhm.
So for the rest of the time of the week, it's like, how do I use my hours?
See, but even
in the
that,
thing.
and that's just super interesting that you called that time deaded, because where I was gonna transition into, and it's actually something I've been practicing in application because of you, funnily enough, because I've watched you do it from working with you, which is even though you consider that time deaded, you maximize the hell out of that time
Yeah.
within the parameters of your job. within the conversations you get to have, within the learning about people, within the studying people and studying the mind.
Definitely
Like,
maximizing time.
And so that's something I have definitely been applying.
Yeah.
Especially with
I guess dead it in the sense of just like what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. You
I
don't
want to
have-
make a
like-
song, or I want to cook some food, or I want to
yeah.
go outside and smoke a spliff, or I want to go take pictures. Like if I got to go to work, I can't do those
You're
things.
limiting your freedom when you go
Yeah,
work for
But at the same time, by going to work,
typical-
you make the money so that you
Mhm.
can have the time on the other side, which is why I think it's important to have you have to have like a work-life balance.
Mhm.
Like right now, currently, I only work like 3 days a week, and some weeks it's 3 to 4. So I'm like almost in a perfect balance of like 50% of the days I'm working and 50% I'm not. If you have a Monday through Friday job, that's 5 days a week you're working and 2 days you don't. So your majority of your life is work versus. So you definitely need that good work-life balance where you have enough time, you work enough to sustain your life, but then you also have enough time to actually just live your life versus like just only working
Mhm.
and making money. You know what I
And,
mean?
like, and a lot of that is that sense of capitalization, because even like one of the things I've always done, but I've really like started focusing on making sure I'm doing is while I do laundry while I play video games. Like,
Yeah,
because
that's a good idea.
as a gamer, I've realized that there's this innate sense of break in my brain. Like cutscene, there's innate like, do I go to the bathroom? Do I need water? Do I need like there's a checklist I do in my brain. And so I started just adapting to, at the bottom of that checklist, if none of those other things need to be done during this, like I've been playing a whole lot of 2K right now, so you get 30 actual seconds during a timeout plus a little bit for the cutscene animation, right? And so usually it's like, all right, do I need something to drink, food, bathroom, should I check on this? No? All right, cool, keep playing, skip the rest of the timeout. But instead, I've been like, check. All right, let me fold until the game turns back on. Let me fold until the round's found. Let me fold until, like, while I'm in the lobby. Let me fold.
Yeah.
Anytime I don't need the controller in my hands, I'm trying to fold laundry. Because one thing, like, and it's a pro tip for husbands, because it's done so much. Because one of the biggest things that, like, me and Bree don't see eye to eye on when it comes to the video game thing is, for her, it stresses her out. And so in her brain, as much as she relates to me, she can't understand me when I find peace from being stressed out by video games. When I'm sitting there like raging, I'm still finding my peace, because it's weird, but it's how I process my emotions. That's how, for years and years and years, I've processed my emotions through video games. And so it is how,
I think like a good rage quit.
Yeah, right. But like for me, it is because
That's like a good making someone else rage quit.
It's also because I established, like, in those same years and years and years, I established the difference between what's happening on a TV screen and what's happening in reality. So even though, like, if I'm having a crappy day in reality, I can transfer that to the game. And if I start sucking in the game, and instead of letting it stack, I'll leave all of the feeling in the game. Like, if I do rage quit after having a bad day, I forget about the bad day, because the rage quit was me rage quitting on my bad day as well. It is how I, like, it's just hardwired into my brain. And that's a big kick I've been on like treating myself like I am ADHD. Because I do know I have several, like, tendencies. I do have several things that I do. And so, like, even the way we reorganized the fridge has been huge, because I saw this, like, thing on, I think, Reddit, where it was talking about recommendation for people with ADD who live on their own: put all of your produce on the shelves instead of, like, your sauces and your juices and stuff, and put those stuff, put, like, the ketchup, the barbecue, the mustard, put that in the drawer. Because you will go find those. If you need ketchup, you're going to go find ketchup in the fridge. But if you're just looking for food and you love celery, you might still sleep on the celery, because it's like you just don't see it in your immediate view. But if you open the door and it smacks you in the face, you're not going to see anything else in there that's worse for you, because it's the first thing you saw. And you're like, yeah, I could go for some celery right now. I think I got peanut butter. Like, and you're going to move from there. And so that has been something that I've highly been focused on, kind of like the sticky notes. How you talk about how you get yourself ramped back up. I've been applying that to, like, physical things, making sure the things I need to get done are directly in front of my face, and I'm not ever going to miss it, because it's right next to where I keep my controllers. I set this right next to where I keep my controllers to remind myself I got to do this before I hop on the game. I'll set this right next to blah 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 to remind myself of this. I'll set this right next to it. Like one of the big things I've started doing as well is leaving reminders next to my plants, because even the days where like I'm having a rough day, I'll go out to the plants first. If I'm having a good day, I'll come inside, say hi to everybody, then I go out to the plants. Either way, I'm making it out to my garden. So I know if it's something very important that I'm probably going to sleep on, I'm going to put it in my garden, because I'm going to make it and I'm going to be thoroughly looking through my garden. So it's just learning to adapt to yourself. Feel free to embrace the aspects of you that you don't think are strong. Turn them into strength. If I, like, exactly what you're saying, if you got to sit in your car for an hour, maximize it.
Yeah, definitely. What's up with you, bro?
Not to bring it all back up, but I'm really doubling down on the sports being a distraction here, because Calvin's giving his whole thing, and
I was giving it to them.
And
I was giving it to them.
And that's fair, you're right? But Eddie's watching, Ryan's watching.
I've already listened to him say this before, and I've said this same thing before, so that's why I'm watching.
And it was also like, but even then, as I was talking,
Yeah.
but like as I was talking,
it's distracting for me. I was also
watching. So you get pissed off about it real quick.
No, I'm not getting.
No, I'm
into
just
it.
joking.
another 30 minutes.
I'm just joking.
Well,
What's up with you, bro?
What?
It's been a while since you've spoken anything besides that.
Just I didn't really have any place or space that I felt like jumping in, and then also anything that I did think of, I thought of that it's probably not a rabbit hole that I'd want to go down right now.
Well, this is supposed to be the short podcast.
You had
Right.
I don't know how long we've been on.
You had a tough week, the
About an hour.
OOA Mobile.
Oh yeah, the OOA Mobile.
Oh yeah, tell this
Yeah,
story
we'll
and we
wrap up
can
on
wrap
this,
it on
wrap
that.
on
Yeah.
this.
I got
feel
one.
like-
I got one
I was gonna
ending.
say, everybody
You got
should-
one too.
Yeah.
Alright, word,
should-
so
I wanted to bring
boom,
Jason.
boom.
Jason hasn't really said anything
That's
in
right.
a little bit, so I wanted to get him on there.
What?
Because it,
Well, I'll be right back.
general?
Yeah.
I would argue it technically starts with Eddie's part of this though,
All right, then I'll tell my part and then I'll be right back.
because it does that's where it all stems from. Because on my perspective,
Yeah,
we
it's Eddie's
worked
fault.
we worked in the morning where you were going to work. So I was telling him like, yo,
What time do you go to
So
work?
the idea, right? So, but
Early.
well, let me tell.
Before-
I'll tell my
before it
part.
even
I'll tell my
opens.
part. Y'all tell
I
your
go
parts.
in at work at 9.
you do go no.
Yeah,
That's
our,
when
our
we
first
start.
school on that day is at 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's when I start at 9. I get there at 9.
But basically, right, I was about to get off. Bree texts me. She's like, "Hey, would you be cool with DDing home tonight? Because I want to drink with Kita."
No, this all started with me telling you to leave your freaking car.
Let
there.
me tell my story. I'll tell my part. You can tell your part. Jason
I
can
said,
tell his
like I
part.
said, it started.
Ryan can
it
tell his
also-
part.
Let him tell
Bree
his
texted
truth,
you
Calvin.
because
Let the
I
glizzy
said,
Okay,
speak.
so when I got out of work, I looked at my phone. I saw a text from Bree. This is the very first thing that happened. Cap! This is the first thing that
No, it's
happened.
not,
Yes,
because
it
there's
is.
a whole medium
I
in
thought
exchange.
this was my moment.
There's a whole medium exchange.
You called me afterwards.
No,
Or
because
Bree called me afterwards.
she came and got me, dog. We had a whole conversation before that moment.
We
Don't
didn't
try
ask
not
for your
to.
life
not.
story.
That's
She
not-
came in
Hey,
and got
that's
me.
episode 30.
I will pull up.
37.
I will pull up the text.
I will too, bro. Because I
No
texted her to
mention.
come get me.
No.
Because she came and got me after the
So
first
let
What
me tell
is
my
that?
story, and then instead of interrupting me, let me
But
tell my
mine comes
story.
first chronologically. I'm saying you're missing out.
What did you
All right,
just say?
let me
On
narrate
your
the
own
I
day
said
for you.
Eddie's story goes
Let's
first.
just
No,
skip
I'm
Eddie.
gonna tell
Why don't we
you.
just skip?
I'm trying to
Leaving
go
your
take a
car.
pee.
Why don't we skip Eddie and
That's
Calvin's
why I'm
story
saying. If
and
you
just
don't
go
want to hear my
Jason's?
side, that's cool. I'm gonna go take a pee.
I don't know. This man. Just,
Okay, well,
So Eddie didn't want to leave his car there, and he should have just left his car there.
I think
'cause
both
everything
of
would
you
have worked
guys-
out so much better.
if
he just-
my story, because apparently
Everything would have no. This is
I think we
this
should
is the
skip
part that
Calvin's
comes
story.
before Eddie's part.
I think we should just
Everything would've
skip
worked so much
Eddie
better
and
if he just left his car
Eddie
there.
and
my car broke
Calvin's
down in the
story.
middle of the road.
Eddie should have just left his
All
car
right,
there.
I'm gonna narrate
Ruined
it just because.
Ruined the
Okay,
story for you.
early in the morning, Calvin tried to convince Eddie to find a way so that they could all carpool home
No, Calvin
without
had a way.
one
he just
person.
didn't want to agree with
I'm narrating. So Eddie, but then Eddie just didn't
gonna
want
let you
Eddie.
speak for
Eddie
me,
didn't
not-
want to have the conversation. So
No, I'm
then,
going P2.
so then, they go
got
throughout their
P2.
day. Bree wants to
join
drink
him?
with Kita.
A little bit.
They ended up asking Eddie if he can be the DD. He ends up finally having the conversation and says only if Jason picks me up after work. There.
Which I and
Just
when
And then a week
bro.
later,
It's so
they
dumb.
argue about it. Okay.
when Bree called me, she said, "What are the odds that you could pick up Eddie from Eddie after you get off?" And I said, "Is long as Keita's cool with it, because I didn't want Keita to be pissed at me for detouring.
Yeah.
And
But
Keita
they were
said
next
she
to
was
each
cool
other,
with it, and
yeah.
I was like, then 100%. So I was like, because of course, why would I not?
The dumbest part about all this is throughout it all, I stated so many times I wasn't planning on drinking.
Well, Calvin,
So many times.
next
to
podcast you
everybody
can
about
argue
it.
with Ryan. 'Cause,
Everybody.
you
Who the
did me.
Down the line,
you
say-
did Eddie.
I mean, like,
And then
apparently I don't
also-
know my own side of the story,
Everybody.
so
So
that's
then,
it.
on my way to
Good-
going to
good-
get
good
Eddie,
podcast.
I'm listening
You
to.
were a punk.
They not like us.
All right,
They
you
Not Like Us.
you guys lost your chance to say yourself.
I was listening to They Not Like Us.
I just got interrupted. I
By
didn't lose
Kendrick.
my chance. So
I'm
I
not.
guess I did
I'm
too
not
by now.
saying.
They not like
not
us.
saying how you
They
lost
not
your
like
chance.
us. That's what I was
So
listening
like
to.
I honestly
They not
don't
like
care
us.
about this story anymore, so I'm cool with just ending it.
Well, I didn't do anything, dude. Don't take it out on me.
That's
I mean,
good.
like,
Be a
if
great
I can't
cutting
be
point.
represented, then what? Like,
You
why
can
would
be. I
care?
have no problem with you
Why would
representing
you want to be
yourself. For the
represented?
record.
Yeah, represent yourself.
I tried to do, and then you said
I
that
was
my
fixated-
representation of
Calvin,
myself was
Calvin,
wrong.
I was fixing
You
the
jumping in
chronological
on
order.
me saying
You
representing
literally
yourself?
just said that my perspective is
That's
wrong.
wow.
That's what you
I
just
said
said.
that it
blatantly.
was my perspective of what happened when we were together. I said the chronological
Why don't we just
order,
let
this came
Eddie
first.
tell it, and we don't. None of us jump in with comments until he's done. How about that?
I can't. I'm not promising that.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I can't. I will do my best, but I'm not promising.
I just don't feel like telling my side.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Go ahead, Eddie. I cut my Calvin.
Whatever Calvin said is whatever. I guess.
No,
It's my side of the story.
You're folding.
Bet.
Are you folding?
I guess so.
It's a shame.
That's crazy,
Hey, you
dude.
got texted. Hey, can you DD? After I stated so many times I'm not drinking. And everything, unless you leave your car, it didn't make sense. And I stated it so many times.
I'm just gonna skip to the part where the OOA Mobile dies, dude.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the road and I was listening to "They Not Like Us," "They Not Like Us," and then I heard like a and I was like, "Is that in the song? I don't remember that." And then it stopped, and I'm at the light and it's red and it goes and then the light turns green. I go to hit the gas and nothing happens. I start rolling backwards because I took my foot off the brake. You're at a light, your foot's on the brake. Put my foot off the gas, hit the gas, nothing happens, and I start rolling backwards. So the car behind me is like honking the shit out of me, and then I start honking back. I'm like, "Fuck you, bitch! I can't move." Like,
Did you turn your hazards on?
yeah, I did.
Alright,
And then
I actually meant to ask that last week, but I didn't ask.
But and you know how the hazards in the van are fucked. Remember in
Yeah. Remember in Dallas?
They're
Yeah,
fucked.
yeah.
'Cause Eddie, we stopped to get this one picture.
Which we couldn't
And
even
Eddie
get.
was driving, I think, and
Yeah, I
then
was
he
driving.
hit the hazards, but I didn't tell them that there's a certain way you gotta hit it, otherwise the button gets stuck. So now we're trying to leave, and the hazards are just stuck on, and we're trying to like fish.
Meanwhile, we're already weirded out by the Dallas energy.
Yeah, because we're at the Dallas. If anyone doesn't know, you can look it up. It's the Eye. I think it's just called the Eye. Like the Eye in
Yeah.
Dallas is this big eyeball in this private garden. It's some weird Illuminati.
And you
shit.
can't
I
even
don't
go
know.
take a picture with it because it's blacked out.
Yeah, it's weird. But you can reach your hand over the fence, which is what I did. To get the photo. And so we got stuck there. Anyway, so I turned the hazards on, and then the light eventually turns red, and then I'm like, okay, cool, it's red, it's all good. Cars are kind of like, no one's really, there's maybe a few cars, nothing crazy. Then it turns green again, and then I'm like, oh shit, because I'm trying to still, like, I'm turning it off, turning it on, I'm trying to just get something cracking. And I realized like I flipped it neutral and roll, because I was rolling and drive, and I was like, probably shouldn't do that. So I flipped it in neutral to try to like roll, and I could have like reverse turn. So I turned, there was like a little offset shoulder I could have gone to, but I didn't want to roll backwards on the road. I was like, I don't know that it's like the hill's like this, and I'm up here going this way. So it's like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like a good idea. And then cars are coming by, and I'm like, oh shit, like they need, like, I have my hazards on, but it's green, and it's like, this is a fast road. Like speed limit's probably like 45. I don't know what it is, 50.
55.
Yeah, so it's not slow. And then like the cars were coming. Some
Hey
of them,
Drake, they're not slow.
some of them like saw me ahead of time and moved out of the way, and then one of them was like this red car. It just didn't see me, that the hazards were there, and like didn't like, it was literally like damn near last second there was a car behind it. Damn near last second like turned out the way, and I was sitting there, I was watching the car, I'm honking the horn to try to get their attention. And I realized, like, I'm looking in the rear view, and then when he was about maybe 20, 30 feet away, I'm like, oh, I'm getting hit. So I leaned back, put my arms like that, and I was like, I'm getting hit. I'm about to get hit, and I'm just ready to get hit. And then he swerves last second, and I'm like, and I'm still about to get hit because there's another car right behind him, and he swerves the other way. And they honk at me. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you want me to do? I got my hazards on, you dumbass. Like, you should be paying attention. And after that, it turned yellow. Like, a few seconds later, it turned yellow and turned red, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not sitting in this death trap. Like, I'm done. I fucking put it in park, and I hopped out. and I went to the side and I was trying to call AAA. I didn't want to call the cops. I don't like calling the cops or being involved with cops.
I was actually
at all.
wondering if you did.
I didn't
actually.
call the cops. I
That's
really
another
didn't want to. I
question
was like, I'm not doing that. I'm sure you're supposed to, but I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm sure someone called the cops because not long after they showed up. But then when it turned green again, I was like waving people down. So they like some of them were coming pretty fast, and then I think the combination of the car being stuck and someone waving, and then people figured out. And then soon after
not
that,
helping with that.
but I will say that when the cop came, he had somebody else come out, and they brought one of those bigger SUVs with the big gates, and they just pushed. And the dude was like, "Oh, I'll get someone out here to push it." And the second cop who came out is like a big Asian dude. He was like, "Oh, he's like, just put it in neutral. I'm gonna push it over there." And I was like, "Okay, cool," because it was like out the way. And the thing is, he started to push it, and there was cars still coming. So I was like, and the other cop was like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing? Like, there's still cars coming." But he started to actually push it by himself, like actually pushing the car. And he was pushing. I was like, "Oh shit!" He's a big dude. And the other guy was like, "What are you doing? Just push it with the car." So then he got in his car, and they just pushed me off to the side. And I just rolled into that, like where you guys found me. Like I kind of pull off to the cut because it was like
Yeah.
a better spot. So. And that was that. But I was like, I genuinely thought I was about to get hit. I was like, yeah, I'm about to get hit.
True.
And then I started thinking, like, what's the legality? Like, if they get hit and someone dies, I didn't think I was gonna die, but I thought I was gonna get hit. Like, in my mind, I knew I was gonna get hit. It's like when you're falling. That's the best way I can describe it. The feeling of when you're falling, and when you first start to trip, you're like, oh shit, you're trying to get your balance, and then when you realize that you lost it, you know you're about to hit the ground. That's that feeling of like, oh, I'm about to fall. Now you're just bracing the impact. Like, oh, I'm about to fall. Like, you're falling. It's over. There's no catching yourself. You just brace for the fall, brace for the hit. That's the mode I was in. I was like, oh, about to get hit. Just like ready to get hit. Nothing I could do about it. I can't get out the car. It'd be even worse. So I'm stuck in the fucking death box. That's why I got out. I was like, fuck that. Fuck this. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I was like, if somebody hits it, they hit it. Like, well, I'm not going to be in it.
So how do you feel about it now?
I mean, only thing that sucks is that I don't know what to do with the car.
We're saying, well, at least I was saying, you should figure out the actual logistics of the HOA having a non-functioning car.
Well, they don't need to know right now.
I mean, yes, but just in the sense of like, figure out what it actually takes to be able to like keep it and just go like put it up on a platform or something.
See, what I want to do is put it in the backyard,
Yeah.
and all the electronics still work because the engine that crapped out.
Uh-huh.
And technically, we could run like, I don't really know how. I'm sure we could figure it out. But easy enough. Like worst case scenario, you could run extension cords in there. And
Well, I had like realistically, all you need to do is charge the battery every once.
that's
in
what
a
I
while.
thought.
Yeah.
Because the battery's fine. Battery's new. Fucking the tires are new.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like.
Well, I was also saying like it really does depend because it theoretically,
Ooh.
right? If you really wanted to like commit to it and make it like, all right, this is memorabilia, like this is going in a museum one day.
That's what my mind is.
Strip it entirely. Sell what you can. Sell what's salvageable.
The seats will sell. Seats will sell.
Yeah, sell what's salvageable and just use it for the whole. Rerun the wiring.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking honestly, we either maybe both, right? We put a big screen TV in it and like put some speakers and we make it a fucking like sound booth or some shit like that.
I remember when we were on the journey, you were saying once you retire this car, that's what we want. You want to do something like that with it.
Or
Just make it like
eventually put it in a museum, like our own museum. So I have like long term. They offered me $400, and I was like, for the scrap, I was like, nah, bro, I can't do that. So
That's what I was saying. You could probably get like at minimum, especially like if you said it's a relatively
Just gotta figure out the logistics of like
relatively
where to keep it.
new
and
battery.
Yeah, like honestly, I kind of want. I mean, I don't know how everyone's gonna fly for it or how it's gonna look or HOA if they see a car in the backyard. Like
That's what I was saying. You got to figure out.
Yeah, you gotta look at the
because
rules.
there is a way to do it. It's
sure.
not. It's not like you can't do it. There's
might
just
have
a
to
way
get one of
you
those
have
like things that
Yeah.
go up in the backyard.
like
but-
a tent.
Get
or
like a
something.
tent,
Yeah, because then it could be cool. Like imagine something that you could just go on there, you turn it on, just like a normal car, and it's like it activates all the electronics, and you just plug in the thing, and you're like mixing in there, and it's just a tight knit sound system.
Mhm.
You
That'd
know
be
what I
cool.
mean?
That'd be super cool.
Yeah. Little speaker in the backyard.
Yeah.
Type
Yeah.
vibe.
And then you could just hotbox it if you want to.
That's what I was
You know what I
thinking,
mean?
man. Don't say it on air. I was thinking outside too,
Yeah,
but
So I want to just make it a cool little like little
The
shack.
Canadians can hotbox. Eh?
All right, I think we wrap it up.
All right.
Sounds
My
good.
last question is: how do we elevate as a
what?
as a group, as a podcast?
As a podcast or group. as
This is
well.
gonna sound super passive aggressive.
Whichever way
but
you
I
wanna
actually mean
answer.
it.
Okay.
I think what we should do.
All right, cool. Thanks.
You guys are not elevating. So.
Eddie, what do you think?
I'm done.
Let Eddie speak. Yeah.
Eddie's
And let
bad.
Eddie finish.
I was
acting
wondering if I should keep it for next time too. Which is
You
geek.
should have.
Yeah.
Nah, I think it's fine. Eddie's just seething. with
That's
quiet
geek,
resentment.
bro.
It's not quiet.
It is
It's
quiet.
not
Because he
quiet.
said he's
It's
done.
Very
He
loud. It's very
It's
loud.
loud resentment.
I'm not hearing it, so maybe I need to turn my
Hey.
headphones up.
Death.
That's because you don't have a microphone in front of your face.
Everybody hears it.
All right. Well, guess we're not
I'll
elevating.
answer your
So
question.
So- I appreciate you guys letting me on the podcast. Thank you guys. Appreciate doing the kin. Love you guys.
we have our first.
Bye.
First
no,
walkout.
I was
Yeah, the first walkout.
because I dropped Keita's phone.
Yeah, but then you came back.
I don't think Eddie's coming back.
No.
Nah.
I'll say just to answer the question, not interrupting each other when people are trying to talk might be a good start. No, that's just a shot.
Sticks.
I think that we need to. I mean, I don't know. There's so much I could say. Like, we could all do more in terms of like actually doing stuff that would be like progressive for the group. Because I mean, we all have our individual lives, but besides just putting out music, because that's cool too. But like marketing, I think we need to do some marketing. I mean, I put money into it. I got us to like 700 something monthly listeners, and I want to do another one, but I gotta wait a little bit because I want to do a bigger one, and I want to do it a little bit differently than what I did before. So I have an idea. I'm not gonna say it, but
Yeah.
So, but it's probably gonna cost me like $1,000. But the result could
That's
be
right.
like 2.5 million amount of people watching or listening.
So like
So,
True.
my
so I need a
plan.
band though, but I don't want to just drop. Got bills and shit.
My relative plan at least, and I'll say this with saying it's not like set in stone, but I do feel it coming. Financially I'll be more beneficial, but I am going to have to take months of hiatus coming up here soon, especially with the thing coming up and with a couple different things that I'm hoping will fall into place and fall into line. I genuinely don't like. In terms of scheduling, I need to have an open schedule across the board if I'm gonna make this shift in paradigm that I'm doing. So probably gonna be Beeno-less.
This is what I'll say. In that, going from what you're saying, for everybody, I've always said this. I've always had the same stance. Is you get out what you put in. It'll always be that way in terms of just life itself. When you're on a sports team and you put your heart and soul into the game and you're an actual player that's making a difference and you win, it feels different than when you're just a bench player
1000%.
who just jumps in. So I think for the whole thing, the amount of work that everybody puts in and what you do towards the group, you're going to feel that when it all pops off. I know it's destined and it will happen, and eventually it will get to a point where we are touching those stages, and how we all feel about it will be based upon what we did along the way.
1000%.
And it's simple as
Thanks. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to end it.
that. Jason the Guru.
Indigo Ryan the Navigator.
Peace.
Appreciate you for watching episode 37.
Sign out doing on his behalf.
Thanks for
even though I
rocking
think
with
he did.
us.
He signed out.
Go stream Oceans on Arrival now.
Go comment.
Got more coming soon for you. Appreciate you. Episode 37. Boom.